everyone, my name is Steve Esposito. I decided that I'm going to sit here and talk to the camera for about 10 minutes, as often as I can. I'm thinking once a week. But anyway, if you don't know me, I am a writer. I've been writing for what feels like over 15 years. If I do the actual math, I'm going to become really depressed by how old I am. But I've been doing it for at least 15 years now. I've written about a bunch of games. I've been doing it since I used to work at GameStop when I was like, let's say 20, and I'm 37 now, so 17 years roughly. Yikes. So anyway, writing about a lot of games. Been doing a lot of work with Ains over at uh, Season Gaming. Been doing some work over at Marooners Rock with Andrew over there. I've also done some editing work, taking care of other people's stuff and their writing projects. And I'm also a full-time writer by profession. Believe it or not, I don't do those. I get paid a lot of money for it. I if I don't really don't get paid money at all, I like doing it because it's something fun. It takes up some time of mine. It is something I thoroughly enjoy, and to me, I don't want to say it's easy, but it is kind of easy. So I decided that between all that, between releasing 3 reviews in like a week, luckily I was off from work, but between these reviews and all these other previews and checking out games and sifting through 300 emails from different PR guys and gals, I decided I was gonna just do a YouTube channel. Like, I don't know why. It's kind of crazy. I'm seeing people this year. The big thing is I'm gonna step away from YouTube. That's been like the thing, and it's kind of demoralizing a bit. It's kind of making me go, maybe it's not worth it. But you know what? If I don't take this as seriously as other people do, if I stick to my own little realm here, like, look at my background. It is not surprisingly good. This lighting is kind of awful. It is a dark room. There is nothing fancy going on here. There is no high quality production being done here. This is me talking at a camera, like I said, for 10 minutes, and that's it. I'm just gonna kind of bring up whatever's on my mind. I'm gonna try to do this maybe at least once a week because I need to kind of dump whatever is sitting in there onto anyone who cares, but mostly people don't care. But I mean, it's just me talking at a camera for about 10 minutes, and yeah, that's my goal. I think that's my thing with this channel. I don't want it to be something gigantic. um I do just want to talk about what's going on. Like, I don't it's been crazy. The internet's been crazy. The games media world has been crazy. It feels like things are crashing. Big conglomerations are taking over. And I'm sitting here going, like, now I've been doing this for 17 years. Before that, way before that, I always wanted to write professionally. I do now, but not where I originally thought I would see myself. Uh, I write for an e-commerce website. I make good money, way more than I would do if I was freelancing professionally. Uh, I pay the bills. I pay for stuff for my kid. Everything's great. It's not bad. Uh, Always could be making more money, but that's given, right? So, you know, I this I wanted to be in the games media space. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to write for like Polygon and like Kotaku, who I've sent many of applications to, but I don't have formal training. I spent 17 years just kind of building on my writing, building on my craft, and creating my own stuff that hopefully people would want to read. And I spent a lot of time doing that. Um, and it's hard. It's hard to get people to read your stuff, especially when you're working in this new state of the way things work. When you have to worry about like SEO and we have to worry about what it is exactly you're putting out there. Like right now, I got a cat behind me, which is awful. So please pardon that. But it's for an independent writer, when you're by yourself and you're trying to like break out into something, it's so difficult. Uh, Luckily enough, I don't have to do that anymore. I really don't. I don't have to do this, but I just kind of want to. Um, yeah. So like, I started writing when I was working for GameStop, I was just there. I was an employee. I was an SGA, and from there, I eventually got up to assistant manager. And assistant manager is a crazy position because all it is you're doing the job of a manager, but you're not getting paid as much as they are, and you're not going on the trips that they go on, and you're not going on the conference calls, and you're not managing as much in a grander sense, but you're still worrying about certain things. I know whatever you did as an assistant manager varied on who your manager was, but I digress from all that. I started working for GameStop, and a friend of mine told me that your personal opinion is what passes as professional advice. And I think about that all the time. Like, that's kind of what a lot of this stuff is. So I started writing just about the games I played. Listen, one of the perks about working for GameStop was that we did get to borrow games. Some new, some not, but I always used to buy them a lot. I would not borrow something unless I was going to buy it. So, that, take what you will from that. Not everyone is like that. Some people are more nefarious. It is what it is. But I at least bought a lot of my games, and I would just write my little reviews on them and throw them online. And friends of mine would look out for me, and they'd be like, "Hey, well, listen, this website's starting up. You want to write for them?" So I'll write like one article and see how it does, because everyone's trying to do that. That's the sad part about this industry, is that everyone wants to take from you as much as they can and give nothing back. And it's hard. It's demoralizing. It makes you not want to do it. But I spent a lot of time doing that. And eventually I started getting a little bit better. I did it on the side. I did it for myself. I thought of whatever I could just to do it. And I went, you know what? Like, I'm going to start taking it seriously. And I didn't start taking it seriously until the pandemic occurred. And the pandemic really changed everything because I got laid off from my job. I had no choice. I was like, you know what? I might as well try the freelancing thing. Let's go for it. And I wrote a couple of really good articles. I did some work for MMORPG, Haywire. I did something for, oh God, what was it? GLHF. I did a couple articles and guides for them for Diablo Immortal. Um, I put a lot of work and effort into what I did, and I made out pretty well. On the side as well, I'm doing work for Season Gaming, which is, it's not freelance. It is a volunteer position, which I'm fine with. It's great because I get to kind of keep myself on my toes a little bit, and it kind of, so like I work in e-commerce. I'm a writer for an e-commerce website, a major one, and I don't get to write about games. I used to, but I don't get to write about games anymore. So I'm using what I have with Season Gaming, as well as a friend's website, Marooners Rock. I'm working with both of these because it kind of takes up some of my time. I get to play some of these games that I normally wouldn't buy, and I get to review them, and I get to talk about them in a way that is somewhat creative and brought to you by 7 a.m. writing starts and caffeine and tiredness from spending the night before playing them. So it's interesting to read. I remember I reread an article I recently wrote, and I was just kind of like, "Ooh, that's not great," but it's up there anyway. So it is what it is. Like, if I do this more, we're gonna learn about the ticks I have when it comes to my own writing, and probably stuff you've done too. Uh, so I've done my fair share of writing. I think out of the last 3 years, yeah, I want to say the last 3 years, I think I've written enough to cover like 6 years of just work. I think I doubled my work. Uh, and I'm happy with it. I'm making peace with it. Yeah, I could do this somewhere else and get paid, but let's be honest here, the media is just, it's not working out at all. It's tough. It's not fantastic, and it sucks that people are getting laid off. But I will say that there is some light at the end of the tunnel here, because now we're getting a lot of viewer funded websites. We're getting stuff like Aftermath, which is great. There's a TTRPG one right now called Rascal. And then we can't forget about Second Wind, which was all the guys from The Escapist who, they took a big leap big leap of faith, and it's working out for them so far. And I have respect for each of these organizations, and I hope that we see more of it going on in the future, because that's kind of where this is heading. A lot of companies during the pandemic bought up a lot of other companies and realized, well, wait a minute, writing is not making money. These people, and I know what happens. I know what happens on the inside. People will pitch ideas to executives and people up, and they're going to say, no, we don't want to do that because we don't want to spend money on making these things if there's a chance that it can fail. That's what happens. That's the truth. I've witnessed it myself. So they say, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to turn down. And then they wonder, well, why aren't we like growing? Why is it the same old stuff over and over again? It's like, well, because you shoot down these risky ideas. And I know like right now it's not a great time to do risky material, but you gotta grow. You gotta do something. I say right now, writers, that we can't just be writers anymore. We have to do stuff like this, except I'm not doing it for that. It's weird. But you gotta have a podcast. You gotta have a portfolio with a ton of stuff in it. It's kind of hard to do, but I feel like if you're kind of if you take it easy, take it slow, little by little, maybe you can make something of it. Maybe. I I'm just gonna do this for fun. I have the urge to create something. Um, I just don't know. I just don't know what I'm gonna get from it. I don't know what you're gonna get from it. Uh, I have ideas of what I want to talk about in the future, and hopefully, they'll come to fruition. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where this brings us. This is going to be an adventure that you and I take. What's the word? Not together, but kind of together. It's going to be a parasocial relationship forever, unless you find me on Twitter, which most chances are, if you are interacting with me on Twitter, you're probably seeing this anyway. So it might not be parasocial. Who knows? Whatever. Who knows? Let's just have fun with this. Let's see where this goes. Am I gonna do this a month from now? I don't know. I don't know. We're just gonna see where this adventure takes us, because I know content creation can be really tough, but I don't think I want to be that person that has to continuously take it to another level to retain some sort of livability. That's just not how this is going to work. So that's it for now. Maybe next week we'll talk about something. All right. And that's it for an intro. So this is going to be a rough cut, and next week, see ya.